Valley Club, you've known the X-Men are getting reworked for a while now, and those reworks are going live on Friday. And in this video, we're going to share with you what is changing about Colossus, Jubilee, X-23, Kitty Pryde, and Phoenix. And if you're ready for all of these changes, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I'm ValleyFlyin and I hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're going to reveal the reworks to the X-Men, Colossus, Kitty Pryde, Jubilee, Phoenix, and X-23. But before we get to all that, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. Usually there's a lot more reveal videos, question and answer videos, news videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. Let's jump right onto the test server and talk about these changes to these characters. First character, Colossus, his stats were increased. His health went up by 62%, damage up by 60%. Armor up by 40%, focus up by 114%, and his resistance went up by 27%. Taking a look at the changes to his moves, his basic ring dinger, what it got added, if Kitty Pryde is an ally, 50% damage for his attack, applying defense down for 2 turns, slow for 2 turns, and gaining 1,000% extra focus for this attack. The special wasn't changed too much, but the wording got changed a bunch. Instead of having counter and taunt for 1 turn, you're going to get that for 2 turns. Also defense up for 2 turns as well. Deflect to self and all allies instead of just the X-Men allies. And you're getting the taunt for 2 turns, not just the Phoenix or Magic or Dark Phoenix as ally. You're getting that for 2 turns. You're also getting counter defense up for 2 turns for all X-Men allies. Moving on to the ultimate, not much has changed here except on the bottom, calling a random Kitty Pryde ally to attack the primary target. That Kitty Pryde ally gains 50% damage for this attack. And if Kitty Pryde is not an ally, he's going to call a random X-Men ally to attack the primary target instead. And as far as the passive, not much has changed here. Only real things that happens is on spawn. He is going to apply defense up for 2 turns to self and all X-Men allies. And Kitty Pryde is also going to gain an extra 20% health. So that is the changes. Colossus, not huge changes here, guys. So let me know what you think the best use case for Colossus is. I'm thinking they're going to be more of a war team, more of a general use team. But let me know what you are thinking of using for these characters. As we move on to Jubilee, her stats were increased. Her base health went up by 66%. Damage went up by 60%. Armor went up by 22%, focus up by 37%, and resistance up by 30%. As far as her changes, well, no changes to her basic. Her special, well, she's going to apply offense up to self and all X-Men allies. It was only astonishing X-Men allies previous to this. Her ultimate, not much has changed with this as well. She's going to go offense down for 2 turns to all enemies and not just in the raid, so extending some of this stuff outside the raids as well. And as far as the passive of Jubilee, not much has changed here. The main thing on this character's turn used to be astonishing X-Men. Now it's on any X-Men ally's turn. Going to apply assist now to them and then gaining more health. So she's going to gain 30% health. X-Men allies are going to gain 15% max health. Astonishing X-Men are going to gain an additional 15% max health. Previously, it was just Astonishing X-Men gaining an additional 30% max health, so giving a little more health to just normal X-Men allies. And moving on to the reworks for Kitty Pryde, her stats went up 116% more health, 76% more damage, 34% more armor, 51% more focus, and resistance went up by 38%. Her moves, her basic got changed. It has a lot more stuff here. It just did the attacking primary target and clearing 2 positive effects. Now it also applies speed up for 2 turns to a random Colossus and another X-Men ally with at least speed that does not have speed up. Also, if Colossus is an ally, going to gain 50% more damage for this attack and 500% extra focus for this attack. The special was changed a little bit. You're still attacking all enemies for 280% damage. You're gonna apply offense down for 2 turns to that enemy. It used to apply offense down to 2 turns to all enemies that are not taunting. So a little bit of a change here that are slightly weaker. Still flipping taunt to defense down on all enemies, getting more speed bar, but now you're healing self and the most injured ally by 30% of this character's max health and applying evade to the most injured ally as well. The ultimate was changed also. What you're doing with the ultimate, you're still attacking the primary target, 220% piercing damage, applying disrupted. You're going to do it for 2 turns instead of 1 turn though. applying defense up for 2 turns and immunity for 2 turns to all X-Men allies, healing as well, self and most injured ally for 30% of this character's max health, also applying evade to the most injured ally, and this attack is still unavoidable and cannot be blocked. And as far as her passive, well, basically a lot of the stuff that was in raids, well, you're doing that stuff outside of the raids as well. You're on turn, you're gonna apply defense up to the 2 most injured X-Men allies or self. On enemy turn, in War and Crucible, 20% chance to apply evade to the most injured X-Men ally or self. In the raid, you're still gonna apply evade to the most injured astonishing X-Men ally or self. And on enemy miss or X-Men ally dodge, heal the most injured X-Men ally for 10% of this character's max health. The rest of this is still the same on Kitty Pryde. Moving on to Phoenix, her stats for health went up by 135%, damage went up by 50%, armor went up by 102%, focus up by 47%, and resistance went up by 50%. Changes to her special, so you're still gonna apply stealth for 2 turns to herself and all allies, but now she's gonna heal X-Men allies for 25% of this character's max health. If this character has 2 or more X-Men allies, she's gonna attack the primary target for 320% damage, spreading all negative effects excluding stun and trauma from this character to the primary target, and then she's still gonna attack herself for 5,000% damage, piercing damage. Hopefully she dies and summons a Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix also did get changed. We're gonna talk about those changes in just a little bit. But the changes normal Phoenix's ultimate, well, pretty much all the stuff is still there, but now you're also gonna clear all negative effects from self and all X-Men allies. You're clearing 2 negative effects from all other allies as well. And the passive, well, on spawn, you're gonna apply defense up to self and all X-Men allies. X-Men allies are also gonna gain 15% damage. Uncanny X-Men allies are also gonna gain that 15% damage as well. So separating that 30% damage that they were gaining fully. X-Men allies are gonna gain that 50% max health. Uncanny X-Men allies are getting that additional 15% max health, so separating that 30% max health that she was giving before. Moving on to the summon, that Dark Phoenix summon. Well, stats went up on Dark Phoenix by a little bit as well. Health went up by 91%, damage by 31%, focus up by 41%, and resistance by 44%. The special what was changed as well, regeneration for 2 turns to all X-Men allies, regeneration for 2 turns to all normal allies as well. If this character has 2 or more X-Men allies, gain speed up. Also, the passive was changed as well. On spawn, this attack is gonna gain extra 5,000% focus. If this character has 4 or more allies with stealth, gonna gain stealth as well. And rounding out this rework, last but not least, is X23. Her stats went up by 37% to her health, 64% to damage, armor went up by 40%, focus up by 38%, and resistance went up by 105%. Her basic added a few different things. It was just doing piercing damage. Now it's also applying heal block for 2 turns, bleed for 2 turns as well. She was gaining evade, but now it's up to a maximum of 3. The special was changed mainly for these bonus attacks. So the bonus attack is gonna gain 350% piercing. Also, you are gonna apply an ability block up to a maximum of 3. The special also has some minor changes. She is now gonna gain stealth and 3 death proofs in attack. This attack is now unavoidable, cannot be blocked, and gains 10,000% extra focus. It was gaining that 10,000% extra focus in War. Now it's extra focus and is unblockable as well. The ultimate also got a little bit of a bump. The damage was 140% piercing. It is now 180% piercing. And now, if this character has 2 or more X-Force or X-Men allies, applying bleed on each attack. Now the last bonus attack, applying trauma to that target. Her passive also got a little bit of a bump as well. She was healing for 10% on turn, now healing for 20% every single turn. When this character has stealth, gaining 50% extra crit chance, and also gaining 100% extra focus, 140%, excuse me, extra focus. And X-Force and X-Men allies are also gaining that 140% extra focus. This was only tied to War and only tied to X-Force and Wolverine allies. This is now extended to all X-Force and X-Men allies, and is also outside of War as well. So yeah, she got a little bit of a boost. So while all these reworks are nice, what does this actually change? And so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is going to change anything that I'm doing on defense in Crucible or what I'm using on offense in Crucible. Not sure if this is going to change any of my war defense teams or if this X-Men rework team is going to make one of my top 10 war attack teams. So not sure if this is going to change anything for me. This may be great for newer players that are just unlocking these newer characters now, but let me know if this is going to change anything for you and what your plans are for Crucible or War. Hopefully this video did give you some value of what is coming up for these X-Men. If it did, leave it a like. It is free for you and it helps out the channel. And if you want to check out the exclusive reveal for Leader and the Cabal team, check out the video that I did up there earlier today with Matt Sheets. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.